Let's talk about a different story, although linked in many, many ways. This comes as the food bank network Feeding Britain says it's facing increased demand from first-time as well as existing visitors because of rising price of foods. Several clubs and pantries in its network, which normally run sessions giving meals to low-income families, are lasting 2 to 3 hours. They're running out of food after 20 minutes due to the worsening cost of living.
So I think everybody's thinking about this, aren't they? However well off or lucky you are, we're all noticing like massive changes in prices, and I think you've got to be smart now, haven't you? You know, when you're shopping at the end of the day, where you get the cut price labels, going for like not the fancy brands but the equivalents, which often taste just as good. I'm encouraged that some things are still affordable, you know, whether it's potatoes and carrots, healthy things actually, porridge. I always get a lot of grief for talking about porridge, but I love porridge. But look, you know, this is very real, this situation for people. And I heard Jamie Oliver this morning giving the government a hard time about the very low criteria for qualifying for free school meals. I think that's something this government, if it wants to show that it is a kind and compassionate government, needs to look at. No children should be hungry at school.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, and I think it's really shocking, actually, that we're one of the richest countries in the world. We're operating food banks, and people at the very sharp end of this, they actually can't afford to. They can't afford the cost of a weekly shop. They can't afford to put food on the table for children. And I think it's extraordinary to me that we're now in a situation where we're having a conversation about whether benefits might be cut in real terms because, you know, the Chancellor's got to pay for these tax cuts somehow.
They won't do that, by the way. I am really confident that they will uprate benefits.
But then you've got to ask the question why the Chancellor isn't... You know, he's been asked so many times, him and the Prime Minister, are you going to do what Rishi Sunak pledged to do as Chancellor, which is to keep benefit rates at the same level in real terms by putting them up by the cost of inflation. They've refused. And if you're literally on the breadline at the moment and you are having to go to a food banks that are running out of food in 20 minutes. So, you know, if you rock up 2 hours into the food bank just after you've got a late shift at work, there's no food left there anymore. And you hear that effectively you might face, say, a 5% real-term cut in benefits. That's, people haven't got 5% in their budgets. They can't find those savings.
It's not going to happen. I'm confident. We'll come back here. I hope I'm not proved wrong too quickly.
I'll hold you to that.
Yeah.